What is good, y'all? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. I appreciate y'all being here. Today's video is going to be on Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. And if you guys know me at all, you guys know I love big jumbo playmakers. Scottie Barnes fits that to a T. 6'7", 7'3" wingspan, can make every single pass in the book. And I know the fall off, at least for me, of Ben Simmons has been sad. But we got Scottie Barnes, bro. He's the new age Ben Simmons with a much more versatile offensive skill set. And to me, is a future star, if not already a star in this league. But for some reason, I don't know if it's the Toronto thing or, because the NBA loves scoring and he's not a, quote, scorer, even though he can score the basketball. Maybe that's why he doesn't get as much love from the national media. But I love Scottie Barnes' game. I've been wanting to make a video on him for a while. Today's the day. We're going to focus mainly on the playmaking because to me that's like the premier skill set and really what fascinates me the most. But he's a great finisher as well. We'll touch on that. We'll get into some of the shooting things as well. But I'm really excited because Scottie Barnes is a hell of a player and to me is on the precipice of really truly being a superstar in this league. But before we get into the videos itself, y'all know we got to talk a little bit of stats. I'm putting this on here. Again, this is not from me. This is all Basketball Index. Check them out. They're a cool tool if you're an NBA fan. These are the two things he does best on the offensive side of the ball: playmaking and finishing. I know it's kind of hard. It might be a little bit hard to see, but you see especially the playmaking. He's just an elite playmaker. And he's really he's a forward in terms of who he guards on the opposing team. But offensively, the offense runs through Scottie Barnes. He initiates things. He makes the vast majority of the reads. And he is damn good at it. And you'll see that the problem that it presents for defenses because of his size is something that he really exploits all the time. So here's the stats. You guys see. He's really, really good. The eye test shows you he's really, really good, but it's backed up by the numbers as well. All right, guys, let's get into some of these clips. All right, so we touched on it a little bit earlier, but Scottie is just such a mismatch problem. Because he's a guard, he's going to get some guards switched onto him, and they just can't fuck with him in the post. You have to send help, and Scottie is so good at being able to understand where the help is coming from and feed his guys off of that. So let's take a look at some of these in more detail. All right, so right here, Scottie has Kyle Lowry posted up here. Just no chance that Kyle Lowry is going to be able to guard him here. And so Bam Adebayo, who's guarding R.J. Barrett, who kind of blends in on the baseline, but R.J. Barrett's cutting, getting out of there. Bam Adebayo sees this and is like, all right, Bam Adebayo's a very smart defensive player. It's not like Bam's making a mistake here. This is the right call. And so Bam steps up to help. Boom, immediately. Scottie's not even looking at the cutting R.J. Barrett there. And so that's what I want you to see is, yes, he's going to punish mismatches, but also the processing to take advantage of these mismatches, because if he's staring down R.J. Barrett on this cut right here, Jimmy's getting his hands on this. He's getting in the passing lane, but because he looks it off, R.J. has just enough time to finish that layup. Here's another one. He's posting up Duncan Robinson, and a lot of people may not realize Duncan Robinson is 6'7", still stands no chance. And so Jimmy Butler's out here. This is Gary Trent, a very good three-point shooter. Jimmy Butler, a very good defensive player. And guess what? He's still like, nah, I got to get the ball out of his hands. Completely buys Gary Trent Jr. a wide-open three-point look. All right, now we're going to head out to Boston. He's matched up with Drew Holiday. Y'all know the deal with Drew Holiday, one of the better defenders we have in this league. It's still, at this point, a mismatch. Luke Cornett right here, his man's out in the corner. He knows if I leave him, it's a wide-open three, but still he feels the need to, hey, I got to extinguish this fire, come over and help. Notice, too, how if Scottie just pounds, backs up, there's no real angle for that pass because Luke Cornett is so big. Look how he gets Cornett up in the air. Jaden makes a nice cut, drop it off. Easy bucket for his teammate because of his gravity. Here we go again, Vince Williams Jr. This is food, and watch Jaren Jackson. He's just like, nope, I'm not letting you do this alone. And I pause it here just to show you, right? The mismatch is one thing. It's the processing. It's the ability to find that pass to Thad Young, which brings it all together. You can create the mismatch, cool, but a lot of guys create mismatches, and then they struggle to pass out of it. Scottie has the perfect skill set to be able to punish the mismatch. All right, again, last one to drive the point home. Again, Duncan Robinson. Bam sees, all right, my bro needs help. But again, Scottie doesn't stare down Thad Young, because if he does that, Bam may be able to back off, get into the passing lane. Scottie punishes the mismatch, then makes the right read quickly out of it. Now, the next aspect of his passing profile, I guess you could say, that I want to talk about is just his ability to find his three-point shooters. We've already seen it in some of these clips, but Scottie's so proficient at this. Look at this. Catches the ball in a post-up immediately on a rope to IQ in the corner. Again, here you see more. We got to get it out of his hands. Finds Gary Trent. Always knows where his shooters are. His processing is so quick. You see right here, slips this screen. Boop! Immediately out to Chris Boucher. Let's take a look at some of these in more detail. All right, so take this play, for example. He's going to run a wing pick and roll with Jakob Poeltl, and we're going to freeze it here. But I want you to notice Max Strus is the low man guarding Gary Trent Jr. in the left corner. When I unfreeze it, I want you to look how quickly from when Max Strus takes one step forward, boom! The ball's on a rope to the corner in Gary Trent Jr. So that just shows you how well he sees the floor. And as soon as Max Strus takes one step in, bah! The ball's there to his shooter. Now, another aspect of this is, yes, Scottie's really good at finding his three-point shooters, but he's also really good at manipulating defenses in ways to create better quality shots for his teammates. So you see right here, Paul George is going to help because he's a really good driver. He's in this gap. And instead of Scottie staring out at RJ, who's clearly open, he's going to keep his eyes out to the corner on IQ. And that holds Paul George in this gap, which in turn allows RJ to get a much cleaner look than if Scottie was just staring at him the whole time. Even here, PG closes, but it's still a clean look. Here's another example, and I like this one because you can truly see where his eyes are at, where his head is at, and this is lazy defense from Cade. I'll give you that. But again, he looks out towards Dennis Schroeder, and that's the difference between Cade being able to close out under control and get there, right, and him having to now jump. Gary gets him up with an easy pump. Easy three there. But there we go. It's one thing to be able to hit your guys. It's another thing to be able to, by yourself, generate high-quality three-point looks with manipulation. And like even this one, it's really simple and straightforward, but I really do think that Scottie not staring at Grady right out here is the difference between Grady getting this shot off over Jalen or Jalen just being right there in his grill. Now, we're going to get to it pretty soon, but Scottie's downhill ability is what really puts him in so many positions to find shooters, even in transition. So I'll pause it here. And in this play, you have Sam Hauser on the ball, picking up Scottie Barnes, stopping the ball. But you have Dennis Schroeder to the right of him, kind of trailing. And naturally, it would be Sam Hauser stopping the ball and Derek White staying out on the shooter of Dennis Schroeder. But because Scottie puts so much pressure on you when he gets downhill, you see Derek White stays in. He's a very smart defender, and he does his best to where he can provide support on the drive but also get out. But this is what I'm talking about with Scottie, right? Is yes, he's a great passer, but because of his gifts, he creates so many situations where his passing can take advantage of his downhill ability. Now, the last aspect of his passing profile that I want to talk about is the transition ability. And honestly, you guys just saw it in the last clip against the Celtics. But because he's such a force getting downhill, teams have to load up to protect the rim against him. And he does a really good job of, once that happens, finding the right guy and getting his guys open looks. Now, take, for example, this play. Downhill, Josh Hart steps to help. He gets it immediately to Chris Boucher. It's gone if he doesn't hit him right there. Now, he also does a really good job of showing the processing right here. He gets this rebound, and then he's facing the baseline, turns around, and within a half second, the ball's out in front of IQ to go run under for an easy layup. Right here against the Bucks, as soon as he catches this, he threads the needle between Brook and Giannis. He's just such a fun player to watch in transition. We're going to take a look at some of these in more detail here. Here's the hit-ahead type stuff. So Scottie battling on the boards with Mason Plumlee. We'll pause it here. This is when he winds up to make this pass to Chris Boucher. He's still behind PG. Russ is trailing from behind. So essentially you got this window where it's got to get over PG, but back down into Boucher's hands and in a spot where Russ can't get it. And again, when he makes this pass, Boucher is still behind PG. I mean, he makes this look easy. And if this happens on a screen, you might be like, oh, nice pass. But that is a really, really difficult pass. All right, this one we got to freeze early. RJ Barrett in the bottom right corner, covered by Donovan Mitchell. You can see none of the other Cavs players are even back and at the rim because they don't really think there's any threat. But look at this pass from Scottie motherfucking Barnes. Right over the top to where only RJ can get it, but not too much to where it leads him out of bounds. Just special stuff from Scottie. This next one is just stupid. Live dribble, Aaron Gordon dogging him. Left hand tosses it right over the top of KCP to Pascal Siakam. Bro, come on, bro. Shit is just not normal. That is a stupid pass. Just stupid. All right, we'll add a couple fun ones in here at the end just to show you again. Scottie knows where you are. We'll pause it here. He may have snuck a slight look, but look, he's not looking at OG. Drop a perfect drop-off pass. It's just ridiculous, bro. Just ridiculous and so fun. We'll give you one more. Scottie Barnes coming down. He's staring Kevin Knox dead in the face. He's not looking to the left. He's not giving anything away. With the right hand, spin it into the path of Chris Boucher. That is sexy, bro. That is so sexy. Great pass, Scottie. All right, we'll run through some more miscellaneous clips before we move on. Take a look at this one. Pick and roll. Vooch steps up. Look at this left-hand whip pass on the money through traffic to Thad Young. That's a dime. Now we're out in Indiana. Look how fast he reads and processes this. Jakob hits him. Immediately, boom, balls to RJ Barrett. If he takes a second longer there, the help is there, play's over. This is what we talked about earlier, mismatch. DeMar DeRozan's a big dude. Vooch is still like, I got to come over and help. And then I'll freeze it here. Look at this go-go gadget-ass pass. Left hand around both defenders to fit it into Thad Young. Ridiculous. All right, I love this play because it just shows how long Scottie Barnes is. But Miami has this set scouted, and that's why Orlando Robinson is facing that way towards us on the baseline, because if he faces Scottie straight up, it allows Scottie to just hit whoever cuts back door, right? So in theory, he should take that away. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Scottie, no look, just whoop, puts it around Orlando Robinson. Easy bucket. And again, guys, this dude is a force getting downhill. Puts Sohan in jail, right by Keldon, draws the help, drops it off to Yak. Here in transition against the Hornets, downhill straight through Brandon Miller's chest, draws Nick Richards, drops it off for Pirtle. Scottie Barnes is just a ridiculously fun passer. All right, so that's the passing, and I considered making this video just purely on the passing, but we're already here, and really the two go hand in hand because he's such a good finisher and because he puts so much pressure on the rim, it creates these extra opportunities for him to now pass because the defenses are loading up on him. So we got to show some of it. Some of the stats that I'll point to, these are, again, all from Basketball Index. 94th percentile in rim shot making, 94th percentile in Basketball Index's finishing talent, 85th percentile in field goal percentage at the rim, and that's, again, including bigs. And how does he do this? He's got great size. He's got great functional strength. He's got great touch. He's got great body control, and he has these really long strides that allow him to cover ground. And so he's not this traditional, like, free. Yes, he can finish above the rim, but you've seen a lot of these. He's using his body. He's using his strides to get to his spot and create finishing angles. And that way he's always under control. So take this play, for example. He's going to get matched up with Daniel Tice on this pick. Look at this. Pull back to get some space downhill. We'll pause it here. You have James Harden reaching. You have Daniel Tice to the left of him. You have Amir Coffey directly in front of him. And there you just see the strength that he has. So there it is right there. The fluidity, the body movement. There are three defenders involved in this play. He goes through all of them, finishes for the and one. And again, there's a subtlety to his finishing. Like, it's really nuanced. So he's going to get downhill on Isaac Okoro, who one's a good perimeter defender. And then right here, Jared Allen steps up. The drop-off pass is gone because Donovan Mitchell's taking it away. And a lot of young dudes, they're just going to jump straight up into Jared Allen, and Jared Allen's going to win that battle more often than not. Instead, Scottie slows down. And then because of that, is now able to jump more towards the side, because as soon as he jumps, Jared Allen's going to jump as well. So if he just goes straight line drive into a jump, Jared Allen's jumping with him. But because he's able to slow down and kind of jump to the side, it gets Jared Allen to commit, and now he can use his length to finish. Really, really tough. Here's another one against Atlanta, and honestly, DeAndre Hunter's going to do a pretty good job sliding his feet and cutting Scottie off here. And at this point, a lot of people, once they get cut off, they're either going to shoot the turnaround fade or kick it back out. Scottie has the physical ability to stop his energy, step through, and then explode up before Jalen Johnson can really help and contest that at the rim. Not many people are going to be able to have the body control and explosion to stop their momentum, step through, and get up and punch that. We're talking body control, so I got to put this clip in here. He's just going to get out, run the floor. Pascal's going to do a great job hitting him. And then watch this. As he drives baseline, Bogey's going to hit him on the left. He's basically hanging on his arm. DeJounte Murray comes over. What kind of angle is this? We'll pause it here. That is a ridiculous circus finish. That's body control. That's strength. That's Scottie Barnes. And then speaking of strength, we got one-on-one with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Scottie, get downhill. Boom, get out of my way. Just completely moves Giannis. You guys know Giannis is 6'11 of pure muscle. You are not moving Giannis Antetokounmpo unless you are really strong. Scottie just moves him out of the way like he's a little boy. All right, and the last thing is touch. It comes into play as well. Look at this. Matched up with Chet Holmgren. Legit 7-footer, one of the better rim protectors in the league. Left-handed hook in a super high leverage 103-101 situation late in the fourth. He's got great touch, and that bears out with both hands as well. And that'll lead us into the shooting, the last aspect of Scottie Barnes' game. Look, Scottie Barnes is not a good three-point shooter at this point. He shot 34% from three this past year. But the context is super, super important, man. He shot 27% on 1.5 threes per game in college. Last year, the season before this most recent year, he shot 29% on 3 threes a game. This year, he shot 34% on nearly 5 threes a game. And I think that is the most important thing, is that you are seeing improvement. You are seeing that he is clearly working on it. And with Ben Simmons, right, he was such a dominant downhill threat. He was such a good passer, but he never even considered taking a three-point shot. And so I love that, yes, Scottie was dominant all of high school and college and even some of the NBA getting downhill, but he knows that the better he can shoot, the more angles he's going to have to be able to get downhill, and that's only going to help his game because you know how dangerous he is getting downhill. The other thing is, it's not just wide open spot up threes, right? Take a look at this. This is a legitimate, off the dribble, step back on the right wing shot over Georges Niang. He's got Giannis Antetokounmpo, step back in transition right over him, right? And so that is encouraging to me, is that he's worked on his shot to the point where he can take tough three-pointers. It's not just wide open three-pointers, and that is going to help his downhill game exponentially. And I wanted to just show this Celtic game. He went absolutely crazy from three. Very few of these are wide open, easy threes. Right there, catch and shoot. Derek White in his grill. Right here, coming off this screen. Jaylen Brown is closing and he's taking these shots with confidence. That's the easiest three he got in this whole game. And he just went crazy. He went crazy, and you can see he's just completely worked on it. Peyton Pritchard right in his grill just shoots it right over the top of him. And so, yes, he's not an elite three-point shooter, but he doesn't have to be with how good he is at other things. And two, he is so much further along than I would have guessed as a shooter, right? There are some guys where it's I don't know if you're ever going to be able to shoot the rock at a high level. I have no doubt, right? And Scottie Barnes, for him to have averaged 20 points without even being a quote scorer, just shows how impressive he is and how hard he is as a worker. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a better appreciation for Scottie Barnes' game. I know people are down on the Raptors because of the last couple years, but I think Scottie's really going to lead this team back into relevancy sooner than people think, because he's just that talented. He's just that good, and clearly he's a hard worker. But I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.